My work is just getting started, folks. Just getting started. We're going to change the world one flow at a time, one topic at a time. It's ridiculous. Mike writes, not just with women, Jericho. That's right. It's a lot of dudes, man. It's a lot of dudes. It's a lot of men out here. I'm using Sierra because, well, you know, she's the latest example. There's a lot of men the same way. If you show me a man that's got a child with a woman, he moves on to another relationship, and he's got nothing good to say about her, it doesn't say anything good about him. Period. I don't care what she did. She was good enough for you to marry, good enough for you to be in a relationship, good enough for you to have a child with. She must have did something right. And at the very least, it says something about that individual's, male or female's, decision making. It says something about them. Especially when people do it in public. It's the most ridiculous thing. Shannon writes, Nate, stop acting like Future isn't to be blamed for some of these shenanigans. The things he said and done to the mother of his children, none of them isn't right. You're right. You're absolutely right. But I'm talking about Sierra right now, Shannon. You're right about that. I mean, how is it that Russell Wilson is the greatest thing ever? Oh, he's the best thing in the PB&J. God sent him to me. He has no commitment to you other than lip service. I'm talking about no, mine out the gutter now. Mine out the gutter. I'm talking about things he's talking to her about. Yet you won't even say the man who you have a child with name, right? This is all over the internet, folks. Something's not right there. Rhonda writes, Sierra might be a beard and don't even know it. What does that mean, Rhonda? What does that mean? Brent writes, GMO stands for genetically modified organisms. In this respect, food and seeds. Yeah, everybody wants to play God now. Why don't we let plants deal with that naturally? What's wrong with that? The problem is we're running out of food. That's the problem with it. But we'll talk about that in 50 years. I keep telling you, folks, we keep squabbling about these little matters and race and all that kind of stuff. I ain't caught up with that. I mean, we talk about it when it comes up, but we got a lot more in common than we don't. Black and white, rich and old, we're all human. Our biggest concern is our impact on the environment. That should be a bigger concern. I'm telling you, when the water runs out, when the food runs out, you want to talk about racial issues? Man, listen, it's going to be every man and one man for themselves. That's when things get heated in this country. Right now, we're arguing about this and that and blah, blah, blah. That means nothing. Yeah, what's a beard? What do you mean by beard, Rhonda? Eric writes, it's official. Ray Lewis and AB are the gatekeepers of the Gilligans this week. I mean, it's such a diff decision. I mean, Sierra might just be my thing. Is that just me? Okay. AB got arrested. Looks like he assaulted this man, if you believe what you're hearing. And I'm inclined to believe so. I've heard interviews, some local people who are kind of close telling me different things. Pastor Mark Burns, though, he is a sucky MC extraordinaire, isn't he? He most certainly is. He deserves it. So many things. Oh, man. What about former UC police Chief Jason Goodrich? Looks like he might have misled or lied to officials at the University of Cincinnati and or some of the investigators. Should he be touched up? Maybe we'll deal with that next week. I don't know. Kobe. Bernie, Hillary. I just need a name. Just one name, folks. Ray Lewis, though, I mean, this is pretty strong.
And that's I'm trying to hex.
Can't forget the S and the T. That's pretty strong. And I mean, Jericho writes, I agree, Shannon. However, Sierra knew what she was getting when she came to how Future treated the mother of his children. Yet she still had a child with him. That's the other thing. And you get with somebody, you get with some dude, ladies, and he's already got children, and he's dogging out or neglecting the children and or the mother of those children, what makes you think he's going to treat you any differently? What makes you think he's going to treat you any differently? Similarly, if you get with a woman, fellas, and she's got a child or children, and she's got nothing but bad things to say about the father. He's this, he's that, he's so-and-so, he's wick, whack, all of this. You might want to run, because she's going to do the same thing to you. Mature people just accept their circumstances and move on. They hold themselves accountable, and they move on. You don't have to lay no blame. Rhonda's funny for this. She says Russell Wilson is using her to cover up his sexual preference. Really? He was married before. I've heard no rumors about Russell Wilson whatsoever. I can't confirm or deny that. I'm not sure. John writes, people will learn that they have more in common when the zombie apocalypse comes. Okay. I could tell you're a fan of The Walking Dead. Okay. I used to watch that show, but it just got gratuitous. I had to jump off the Walking Dead island and swim back to the mainland. Angela writes, Sierra's silly acting. If that's how she act in public, how much she be acting behind closed doors with Future when it comes to their child? Says a lot about her, in my opinion. Thank you very much, Angela. Too often, women are afraid to hold other women accountable. Thank you, Angela. Absolutely. If she's acting like this in public, can you imagine how she's acting behind closed doors? I mean, I'm not trying to put it all on her because, it's two people are involved with this. But come on, y'all. The best thing Sierra could do was to not only continue with this relationship. I guess she's in love. That's a beautiful thing. And, for younger people out there, teenagers, abstinence, I mean, it should be preached. Young people should be taught about abstinence. I believe that. Now, they also should be talked about sexual awareness and how to use condoms and all that kind of stuff. Birth control as well, because let's be real here. Okay, let's be real. We live in a very sexualized world. You turn on television and sex. Everywhere you go. Everywhere you go. Relationships and kissing and heavy petting. It's everywhere. So people are going to do it. Sex is an eventuality. I tell my wife this about our daughter, Little Buddha, all the time. She's like, oh my God, she's not going to do that. I'm like, she's human, ain't she? Our job is to make sure that when she gets to that point, she knows how to protect herself. Okay? Because it's going to happen. Okay? Eventually. All right? And we'll teach her about abstinence and all that stuff. But as her father, I want to make sure that when she gets into situations and her hormones are going and she's feeling this, that, and the other, that she knows how to protect herself. Okay? Because I don't want to be a granddaddy. I ain't ready for that. I'm just telling you. And neither is she. Neither is she. So that's a great thing Sierra's doing. But with so many people out here with mixed families and they've got children with people that they're not in relationships with, that could be an awesome display. That'd be an awesome example if her in Future could work it out. Kind of like what Will and Jada did. Remember that? But they were a little bit older. And Jada said we sat down with baby mamas and baby mom and we worked it all out. She's a part of the family, as she should be. That's just the way I look at it. If you got a child with someone, you might not even live with them, but that's family right there. That's an extended family. I think that's the best way to deal with it. And maybe both of the adults involved find other relationships. You got a new boo. Okay, great. But that doesn't mean you got to throw shade at the person you have a child with. I don't get it. Maybe you do. I don't get it. Angela writes, okay, the more I listen with tears in my eyes, Ray for adopting the MLK cadence. We expect that tone from Pastor Burns. Okay. All right. Well, Ray Lewis it is then.
And I'm trying to ask, what's the problem? I was asked if I was an elected official, what would I do to stop some of this violence? I would put barrels on each corner and I would give you 30 days to drop all illegal weapons in these barrels. And if you found yourself going outside of that, the moment I found you with them, that's 25 years mandatory. There's no more having conversations because what's starting to happen now is we're starting to confuse our kids. Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip.
And that's all I could play. I don't want, like I told you, the Mr. Rogers people came after me, my old job. I'm not making that up. Literally, I sat on the phone with corporate lawyers because somebody in the city dropped a dime on me because I was using the Mr. Rogers theme. I'm telling you, you might not believe it, but there are some real haters in this city. For real. I wish I was making it up, but it's just part of, it's just all part of fun. I got to be honest with you, I was laughing the whole way. Like, really? This is great. You know, as a talk radio host, man, as a young iconoclast like myself, hey, that's great. You want to touch some nerves. Yeah, but for many reasons, not the least of which is his speech patterns. Ray Lewis is the Gilligan of the week this week. Absolutely. For being a hypocrite. 25 years because you got a gun? Damn. I mean, even the conservatives, the law and order folks aren't trying to do that. Ray Lewis should never be a politician. Ever. Never. The only thing he should be reading is comic books and defenses from his couch on NFL Sundays. That's about it. What the hell? Woo! You cannot have CTE if you want to represent me. Is that bad? Daryl, I appreciate the love, man. He writes, Nate, you got to take it at 9 to 10 a.m. You're the greatest morning talk show host in the nation. Great things ahead for you, bro. Hey, I appreciate the love, Daryl. And yes, the show is going to expand, obviously. I'm making plans for it now. And as long as we've got support here, as long as I've got support to do it, we'll definitely make that happen. Because I'll be honest with you, and again, this is just my personal opinion, because I'm a fan of talk radio. I'm a fan of local radio. I listen to local radio to this day. I have always been that way. And morning radio is whack in the city of Cincinnati. It's the same old folks talking about the same old stuff, blaming Obama for everything. They hate the streetcar. We just need diversity of opinion. We need an alternative in the city of Cincinnati and perhaps the nation. Or it's gospel. I don't want to hear that. I don't listen to music that's pre-programmed for me. Okay, I got nothing against folks that do. When I want to hear gospel, you know what I do? I turn it on. I play it. So I listen to the songs that I want to listen to in real time. When I want to listen to hip-hop, you know what I do? I listen to hip-hop I want to listen to. That's just me. You know, I'm just an on-demand kind of guy. I'm not hating anybody that does. Okay, support who you support. I'm not throwing shade on anybody. I'm just promoting what I do. Okay, that's it. But I appreciate the love, most definitely. Terrence Wright, disagree. Just because you have a baby with someone doesn't mean you have a deeper bond than someone you marry. A one-night stand can produce a baby, but someone who wants to commit their life to you is a real bond. People make mistakes, and almost everyone has a relationship they regret. Well, I mean, I respect your opinion, Terrence. I really do. But I would say that when you have a child with someone, that should be a deeper bond than just someone you just met and they make you feel good about yourself. Because check it. You're not married until you're married. Like, let's take Sierra and Russell Wilson. Right now, they're not married. They don't really have any real commitment. I keep telling people this. You're not married until you're actually married. There's been a lot of people who've been left at the altar. There's been a lot of people who've been engaged for many, many years, and guess what? They never get married. People get cold feet. They find somebody else. That bond and commitment doesn't really start until you get up in front of that judge or that holy man, in front of your friends and your family. Some people say in front of God, and you make those commitments. You take those vows. That's when it really starts. Everything that leads up to that is just play acting. I know a lot of folks don't want to hear that. Oh, I'm engaged. It's real. Okay, it's as real as you believe it is. And from a man's standpoint, it ain't real until you get married. That's why you got so many relationships out there where men just kind of string out the engagement. And they start filling up their lady's head with all this nonsense. That ring don't mean I love you. It ain't about the ring. It's about that commitment. It's about standing up in front of people and saying, I'm making a commitment. That's what it's about. So here's what I'm trying to say to you, Terrence. If you have a child with someone, whether it's a one-night stand or not, you got a long-term relationship with that person, whether you like them or not, period. They are in your life for the rest of your life, period. And especially for the next 18, 19 years. Especially. Deal with it. And the bond that you share as a co-parent should be stronger than the bond that you share